Great, thank you. Commissioners, any questions for Trey or constituents? Any questions for Trey from the mayor's office? Okay. Thank you for joining us and for this update.
Hey there, I just heard the
Yeah,
recording in progress. Um,
yeah.
do we need to redo the votes if they weren't on like in the recording earlier? I don't know. I'm not sure what the policy
Did
is. I'm
it,
just curious.
oh, did it not happen, the recording? So that I pressed.
Oh, I just heard it now, so I figured maybe did
Oh,
it just come on or was it on earlier? Or I don't know. Just thinking.
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't,
Hmm.
yeah, no, I don't think we like need to redo the votes if
Okay.
it was not recorded on video. Um, yeah, I thought that I pressed recording. Yeah, I can look into it later, but I can send if it didn't work, I can send Karen um notes about the votes.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So we all voted on. Okay, the transcript has been on. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we also approved the agenda, all of us, the five, and then you abstained on the meeting minutes. These are the two votes. So I'll take notes in case there was a technical issue and it didn't record it. Yeah, thank you for flagging that. Um, okay. Do we have anyone from MPD? Could also be a little bit earlier. Um, okay. Um, don't think we have anyone from MPD. Okay. Anyone from Department of Corrections or General Services yet with us? Don't think so. See, Monica is here. Um, see. Would you be able to do your presentation now, or are you waiting on anyone from the NOMA bid?
I'm happy to do the presentation now. They were going to try to join, but I think just as observers. So I'm happy to do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, let me
I can
if
either share my screen or you can pull it up.
yeah, yeah. Let me just
Okay.
promote you as a panelist first so you can share your screen.
Audio is off. Okay, I'm going to try it and show you my screen. Can you see my screen?
Not yet, but sometimes it takes a minute to load. Let me also see.
I don't think I did a share. Do I need to do a share?
Oh,
Yes, I do. I
let's
need to
see.
go into more, maybe. Let me go in
Are you
here.
able to share your screen now?
Yes, allow share.
Great.
You
Yes,
see
I
it?
can see it now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hello, I'm Monica Jahan Bose. Thank you so much for allowing me to put out my proposal today. So I'm a DC artist. I've lived here for over 20 years, and I'm mainly a painter, but I've gotten into public art and done a number of temporary public art projects, five or six big ones in DC. And I've actually been working on, I did a small public art project last year with tiles and wanted to do something in your neighborhood. So this is just a little image of my sketch, but let me show you the location I'm thinking of. I would be applying for a grant for this. If it was funded, then I would do it. This is this stairwell that's at the Florida Avenue entrance, near the Florida Avenue entrance to the metro, to the Noma Gallaudet U metro. So it's actually the south side of the Courtyard Marriott. So the wall is owned by Marriott, and it's terrible. It's a big mess, as you can see. It's been tagged multiple times. They keep painting over it. It's just dark and dismal there. And there's two levels of it. That this is the upstairs. The on the left is the upper level, which leads right to the Metropolitan Branch Trail on the right. And on the right here, I'm showing the lower level, which is where you go in from the metro. And so this is sort of showing where it is. You can see it's behind that wall of the metro, and this is people going up to it. And there's an elevator in it, and I tried to take it this morning, but it wasn't really working. But I think the elevator, people bring their bicycles up on the elevator to the trail. I believe that I couldn't figure out the elevator was not working today. But then you go right out to this trail, and the trail, as you all know, I actually walked it this morning, is a magnificent piece of public, enjoyment space. I think it's also obviously people transport themselves to various places on it as well. So my idea for this space, I actually had been thinking about it for a while, is to use tiles to create this two-level diptych mural. So it'd be two different murals, hand painted on ceramic tiles, and it's an irregular wall, so it's a little bit complicated. And then I would also, assuming I get funding, would also cover the entire wall with additional white tiles that you see there. So that, and then some of them might have designs in them as well. But the idea would be just to clean up the whole thing and make it all level. And the idea of the great thing about ceramic tile is it is graffiti resistant. It can last decades, centuries. You've seen them around the world, and in Mexico and in Istanbul and all over the world, Lisbon. You've seen them in the New York City subway. We don't have them here. We don't have hardly any tile murals in DC. We have lots of beautiful murals, but this would be a really something very exciting to bring to DC. And it just wipes off. If anyone graffitis it or uses a Sharpie on it, you literally can just wipe it off with isopropyl alcohol. It just comes off. You really can't. So that's the beauty of it. And the design concept is based on my fabric designs, and I'll show you. I do these outdoor installations using sari fabric. Sari, I'm from Bangladesh originally, and I'll show you. And I do these. I design these wood blocks, which are made out of mango wood, and I usually work with the public to help print on these saris and create these collaborative pieces. And I would use these woodblock designs and actually print using the same designs onto ceramic and hand paint them with stencil, or if the ceramic is wet, some of them can actually be pressed in. And I'll show you, this is sort of a sketch I did of what the mural would look like. And it's basically based on the MBT. And it would be the border, the top and bottom would be these alternating woodblock designs, but the middle part would be a hand-painted, entirely hand-painted mural showing people recreating on the MBT, sort of abstract. You'd see the Capitol, you'd see these figures, you'd see trees, and there would be two of these. So it's huge, actually. It's going to be one 20 by 5 foot mural on top and another one on the bottom level. So there'd be two of these. And to show you a little bit of my other work on fabric, it's kind of, I've worked with these farmer women from Ancestral Village, an island in Bangladesh. And I also work with hundreds of people in DC over the years to help co-create these saris. I'm going to show you a close-up of what a fabric sari co-created with the public looks like. So we create these borders together, alternating wood blocks, and the middle is often covered with imagery and poetry and writings. A lot of them are about climate change and also about movement. So this is an example of what the fabric looks like. and the fabric design is going to inspire the ceramic design. So it's a diptych, it's site specific. I would use 8-inch ceramic tiles. I have some in my studio. I can show you. They're like, and then, and so each mural would be approximately the size of an actual sari. We will use sari wood blocks, hand painting, and stenciled poetry. We transformed this dark, dismal stairwell into a bright and cheerful space that leads to people to the MBT. And I would lead several community poetry and art workshops as part of the project. So we will do some workshops. I'm thinking, I understand that a lot of children, youth hang out in that space. And I would love to actually engage some of them and other members of the community. I'm happy to talk to you all about other community groups that might be interested in hosting a workshop. And we can work on some fabric pieces, which will be used for the inauguration, but we can also work on poetry that will be stenciled into the ceramics. And it'd be interesting if we can find space for it to actually work with some of the youth and children on some of the ceramic tiles as well. For example, I could make I'm thinking about making a border around the metro the elevator door with some of the tiles that are made by the children. So I want them to feel like it's a that this space where they hang out is going to be beautified for them, and I want them to be a part of it, and anyone else in the community as well. So the idea is to get the community involved. I wanted to call it On the Move, which speaks to your very vibrant neighborhood and all the sort of transportation and movement that's happening at this crossroads of the metro and the Metropolitan Branch Trail. And I'm going to show you pictures of what the ceramic tile mural that I made last year in Kalorama Triangle looks like. It's very beautiful. I mean, people just go crazy for it. You know, you can touch it. The borders look like that. I'm going to use predominantly blue and white because I just think it's a very classic tile pottery color that's used, you know, around the world. And I think it's very vibrant. And then there will be figures and trees, and this is a different one, but yours will be the image that I show of the MBT itself with people on bikes. But the figures will be sort of silhouetted, so like this. So they will be, you know, sort of non-gendered, non-racial. They could be anybody, any age, any person. And I might add a dog. I saw lots of cute dogs on the trail today. Um, this is how it's done. It's really a very innovative process that I've developed with a ceramic artist. We'll be using wood blocks on clay, working in this big studio that where I'll lay out all the tiles and literally hand paint them. And then some of the tiles, as I mentioned, I would like to make with the youth and other people in the neighborhood. And the project team, I'm the lead artist. I would be the lead artist. I'll collaborate with ceramic artist Ellie Brandy. I've worked with her in the past, and she's amazing artist with a degree in ceramic fabrication, ceramic design. And I would love to work with local youth and community members, as I said, to create, to put in the tiles and to make collaborative saris and hopefully to make some tiles as well. And I want to develop more community partners, but so far I've talked to the No More Bid and Marriott, and I'm hoping to get in touch with some of the local schools. But I think I need to first talk to some of the young people and find out what schools they go to. I think they might go to Dunbar or the Two Rivers School around the corner. I'm not sure. I'm going to show you some pictures of my previous projects other than tile. I showed you the tile project. These are the fabric projects. I'm sort of well known for these. I did one 2024 at the Marie Reed Plaza, and I worked with the school kids there at Marie Reed to create that. We created a swimming pool shape out of saris, and there was also a huge wave on the other side. There was also a film. I did a project at the Line Hotel in 2022. We're wrapping the entire columns with poetry, with community poetry in Bengali and English. There was a project I did in collaboration with the Georgetown Bid a few years ago on the canal. And that included projections at night on the canal. Again, a lot of poetry about environmentalism, about the environment. I did a project also in Adams Morgan at the DC Art Center called Concrete Dreams. That included also sculptures that I made with the community members. The biggest project I've done size-wise was in 2019 in Anacostia called Rapture. If you Google this, Rapture with a W, you'll find all kinds of stuff. The Smithsonian wrote an article about it, created a video about it. I also made my own film about it, which was premiered at the Kennedy Center in 2021. That one, 300 people got involved in workshops and co-creating these designs on fabric. But I am actually a painter by training. I've spent all my life painting. Several of my paintings are in the Smithsonian collection. Here's an example of one. Some of my saris and woodblocks are also in the Smithsonian collection. And so I would definitely create something with a community that's going to be hopefully very beautiful and high quality. The time frame, I would need a letter of support from you, and I can send a draft to your chair right after the meeting or even during the meeting by July 10th. And I plan to apply for the DC Commission's grant, which is due on the 27th, but I want to get it in the Friday before July 24th because their systems sometimes get really bogged down on the last day. We would get a notification in October, and then the project would happen next year and has to be completed by September 30th. And there'd be a number of public events I hope to happen, including workshops and then an unveiling event outdoors, and hopefully in spring, summer 2027. And then once it's up, it should really last as long as the building is up. So I'm happy to answer any questions. Let me show you a picture again. So this is a sort of visualization. I know you can't see a lot of detail here of what it would look like on the upper level, and it would be similar on the lower level. The lower level is a little bit higher, the ceiling, so we would have more border tiles. And here's my information. I have a couple of websites, but one of them is storytellingwithsaris.com. And there's a picture of a workshop I did with kids in Anacostia outdoors. Any questions? Do you have any feedback? I would love to get feedback if you have any thoughts on this project and how to engage people or ideas for, any thoughts really, if you have any.
Yeah, thank
Delia?
you so much for your presentation. So do you believe that this is in single member district 6E06? Um, so do you have any questions? And I mean, I'm supportive of public art. I use MBT and walk by that stairwell, and I think the concept of developing something with the community input and participation sounds very good to me. But let's start with the Commissioner Lareeden, and then we can
Yeah,
ask other commissioners to chime in or ask any questions.
sure. Yeah, thanks so much for the presentation and glad that you are applying for the funding. And I think I saw that you're already working with Noma Bid because that would have been, my suggestion. You may be familiar, they do the art no the Noma, what's it called? Art in Color or Noma in Color
Yes, yes,
festival
yes.
every year that I always like make a point to run by on Monday and then Friday when the murals are empty and then they're all up again, which is really fun. So I feel like that, like collaborating with that event could be a fun way to actually get the art made and get people participating because a lot of people are, coming by to watch the artists paint and that, that just feels like a peak time to kind of meet with people. But I agree. I think Noma last year, I think it was, there's another stairwell going up to the MBT, just like, I don't know, 1,000 feet, further north,
Mhm.
that was similarly kind of gray and empty. And I think they actually had one of the mural artists from a previous year do that one. So I'm actually kind of surprised that they haven't done this stairwell yet. But I just noticed that they had already done that one. So that's kind of my only commentary, but I think that's great.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I saw that one. Yeah, I've been talking to them, Noma Bid, for about this stairwell for a while now. I started talking to them about this last year. Yeah, they were very interested in having something that isn't painted, that doesn't get graffiti marred, because that's a real issue. So, yeah, and they're very very art focused. It's been great to meet them, and I have been down to Aletha Tanner Park and seen those murals. Some of my friends have done some of those murals. It's such a great neighborhood you have with so much amazing art. I would love to also try to get better lighting in that stairwell as part of this project, so that you can actually. It's pretty dark, and I mean, imagine it in the evening it's quite dark too. So I'll try to. I'm trying to get a presentation, get an introduction to folks at. I will be writing to DDOT tomorrow, but also to let WMATA know, and figure out, who wants to try and improve the lighting in that space as well. Um, do you all know what schools the kids go to? That I've heard people hang out there. Are they high school age, or are they like middle school age?
I think a lot of them are like middle school, or younger high school age. It kind of depends on the time of day, but I think a lot of kids use the MBT to commute actually. I believe
Oh,
there's the Noyes education campus is like right at the top of the MBT. I don't know like for sure if that's exactly who the students are.
okay.
But yeah, the Noyes education campus is right at the top of the MBT. So I think there's a lot of students that commute on it.
Okay, I will look that up and I'll get in touch. Yeah, too bad school already ended. So, when I've gone there, I haven't seen many kids there. I think school's out in DC today, perhaps. Um, but I will reach out and to the schools and see who might be interested in joining and participating. That would be very cool. Yeah, so thank you. If you don't have any further questions, I can go ahead and I have a draft letter that I'm gonna I can send it to your chairperson.
Oh, actually,
Um,
there are other questions,
oh,
Commissioner
great, great,
Prince.
great. And if
But
there's any public people in the public that want to
yeah,
type in
well,
questions, that would be great. Or
yeah,
comments.
we'll start with the commissioners and then open the room for constituents. Commissioner Prince, go ahead.
Sure, thank you. Well, I love this proposal. I ride up and down the trail all the time. I'm not familiar with this space, but I think it's a fabulous idea. I like ceramics in public places. I hope that if it's funded and done, the work will include uh, perhaps on a matching tile, the title of it and your name, perhaps a few words, what it's supposed to represent, and maybe even in the best of all possible worlds, some indication from the outside, from the trail, that hey, there's a work of art right here, 6 feet away. Because I would just have go by it all the time. I don't even think I've looked in that direction, but I think it's a fabulous idea, and I will certainly support it.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. No, so there will be a plaque, so that if it's funded through the DC Commission, there will be a plaque that's required. But I was thinking the same thing as I was walking around there today. I was like, there needs to be something on the trail that points people this way. And I've seen that the bid has put up various signage indicating public art. So it could be something that's actually on the wall there as well. Yeah, it could be something. And there could be what I've thought about is there could be a QR code with more information about the inspiration behind it, maybe the process. I don't know if we end up having people in the community involved, maybe some pictures of people involved in making it. It could be fun to do something like that. But I love that idea. Thank you so much. Um,
Great. Other commissioners or constituents who are with us on the line, any questions, comments? Okay, not seeing any. Thank you so much for joining us. Is Noma, one last question, is Noma Bid an applicant with you or
no,
they're
so
just
I
supportive?
would be applying as an individual artist. So
Okay,
um, so I'll be because they're not even allowed to. They applied last year for a grant, so they have to
yeah,
it out this year. So I have applied as an individual artist in the past. We don't, again, it's not clear. Um, I haven't seen an individual artist funded in the last year or two, but in the past I've gotten this grant, this same grant several times. So we'll just have to see what the panel likes. It's competitive. The panelists are arts professionals from the DMV who are, trying to choose works that they believe. So we'll see what the panel likes. But I think it's actually a very interesting and innovative idea, and it's obviously going to make that space much more inviting and safe, probably too. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, we'll just have to see. I'll do my best. I have done these applications before, and I'll do what I can. But again, it's a different panel every time, and I've been on these panels myself, and it's not always easy to figure out. So we'll see. But I think we'd have a good shot at it. Um,
Yeah.
so. Thank you for your support. I started working on a simple letter. It can be made to the DC Commission or to me. It doesn't really matter, but you just give it to me and I would upload it with the application when I apply. So I will send a draft to the chairperson and then you can revise it as you wish. That would be
Hmm.
fantastic. And I guess you need to take a vote.
Yeah,
There,
yeah. We'll do that in a little bit. There was a comment that said that there are two schools that have art instructors in the Gallaudet campus, MSSD and Kendall, that you could I think it's a suggestion by Philip, um that you could reach out to them and ask if they
Oh
would
yes,
like
I
to
know
be
Philip
included.
Meckham. Philip Meckham
Yeah,
has actually has participated in several of my projects. A wonderful deaf artist.
yeah.
Yeah, that would actually be great to actually get Gallaudet students involved. That would actually be great because this is right in the neighborhood, right? That's a great suggestion. Thank you,
Yeah.
Philip.
Yeah, and I do believe it's in word, it's another word, but Dunbar School also is close by. I think it's like a 10-minute, well, maybe more, like 15 or 20-minute walk or longer, but you could also look into reaching out to them. And also, if you need assistance, I think possibly connect you with Councilmember Allen's office if they could help facilitate that. Okay, thank you so much.
Great. Thank
We
you
will
so
just
much.
move to voting and then we'll reach out to you via email.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Okay. Um, Commissioners, we can move to discussion. Any comment, questions? I personally really like this concept and support it. Before we move to voting, any comments or anything you would like to discuss?
I'm
Okay,
happy to help
great.
with the letter if you need.
Yeah, I do believe that we could do a resolution and then yeah, we could work on the exact language, but I think for now we can say that I move to make a motion to vote on an ANC 60 resolution that expresses ANC 60 support for Monica Bose's application for the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities Public Arts Building Communities Grant. Anyone would like to second?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Abukaloff moved and Commissioner Lareden seconded a motion to approve a resolution that expresses ANC 60 support for Monica Bose's application for the DC Commission on the Arts and Humanities Public Art Building Communities Grant. Before we vote, um, saw a text. Commissioner Watts, are you on the call? If I saw a text saying that you're on the call, but I don't see your name could you use the raise hand option?
There is a phone number which I don't think was there previously at the
Yeah,
top.
Oh,
that's the
is
same
that
phone number. That's theirs. So
okay?
it's
Um,
the
I have a
202
rec
981.
Is
in
that Commissioner
It says
Watts?
here.
in
Okay.
some web conferencing systems, a *6 will get you unmuted, but I don't know if you can promote a phone call to panelists.
I did allow to talk. I don't know if they can be promoted to panels, but she should be able to
It
talk
says
now.
unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Okay, so I'll be calling on everyone to vote. Commissioner Watts, we're voting on an application for grant for the DC Commission on Arts and Humanities Public Art Building Communities Grant. So I'll start by asking each commissioner to vote. Commissioner Watts, how do you vote on this
Yes, I heard.
resolution?
I vote aye. I heard her.
Okay, great. 6E04,
Aye.
I 6E06,
Aye.
6E08,
Aye.
and then 6E09.
I
Great. So the resolution passes with 6 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstains. I'll work with Commissioner Clarendon on sending the letter, the resolution to Monica. Great. Moving to the next item. Well, I know that we shifted a little bit. Is there anyone from MPD with us? Don't think so. Okay. Um, is there anyone from DGS or DOC with us? Oh yeah, DOC. Good afternoon. You're promoted as panelist, so you should be able to unmute and use the video option now.
Okay, awesome. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm gonna share my screen. Give me 1 second.
Great, we can see your screen now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so thank you, commissioners and community. Good evening. This is the project update for the Daily Central Cell Block Temporary Swing Space Project. It's located at 501 New York Avenue. And so the purpose of tonight's update is to provide a current status on the progress since the last update. We'll give a brief overview of completed work, remaining activities, permit coordination, and updated milestones. And then at the end of the presentation, I'll be available to answer any questions. So here's our agenda for tonight. We'll cover 4 main topics. First will be the recap since the last update. Second, we'll review the permitting and agency coordination. Third, we'll discuss the fencing and curb cut and ADA coordination. And finally, we'll go over the project milestones. Okay, so since the last update, interior construction has continued to progress. Major rough-in, wall enclosure, closing activities have been completed or substantially completed. On the second floor, we have also advanced, including wall preparation for primer and paint, as well as other finish activities. Security-related construction has also progressed on the first floor and terrace level. That includes the detention cell installation, the doors, the beds, and security grills. The exterior work, the utility work within the property line has also substantially advanced. The remaining utility work is pending DDOT permit approval. Coordination related to the fencing and curb cut and ADA requirements has continued through the public space and permitting review process. And then the schedule has also been updated to reflect the remaining permit dependent and closeout activities. So this slide summarizes completed approvals and active agency coordination. On the completed side, HPRB and HPO have approved the exterior fencing and curb cut design. The Public Space Committee has also approved the fencing and curb cut scope with one condition. For the active coordination, the project team is awaiting confirmation from the National Park Service regarding land ownership of a small vegetation area near L Street, 5th Street, and New York Avenue. For DC Water, the meter request form has been submitted. The processing time for that is approximately 3 weeks. For DDOT, the final utility tie-in does remain DDOT permit approval. So that is pending at this moment. For Department of Buildings, the exterior design package is being finalized and will be submitted shortly. This slide provides additional detail on the fencing and curb cut and ADA coordination. So as noted, the exterior fencing and curb cut scope has been reviewed through the public space process. And so Public Space Committee approval was granted with one condition. That condition requires confirmation that the first parking space on L Street maintains a minimum of 5-foot clearance from the curb near the L Street and 5th Street intersection. And so next steps is to confirm that the parking stripe dimensions meet the requirements for L Street. We'll need to finalize the DOB submission package for the fencing and curb cut, and then proceed with that exterior work once we receive approval from DOB. So near-term construction activities include continuing interior finish work. The project team will also continue completing the remaining detention and security scope. Once the required systems are ready, the team will begin system startup, commissioning, and security testing. On the exterior and utility side, the project team will continue DDOT permit coordination for the final utility connection to New York Avenue. The final utility tie-in and related utility work will proceed after permit approval. The DOB submission and the approval process for the fencing and curb cut scope is also being finalized. So at this time, substantial completion is projected for fall 2026. DOC training and operational readiness activities are expected to follow substantial completion, and then final completion is projected for winter 2026. As a caveat, these milestones remain dependent on permit coordination and final schedule. So that concludes the project update. If there's any questions that we're unable to address here tonight, please feel free to reach out to the contacts listed on the screen, and we will coordinate a follow-up response via email. I just want to thank you for your time, commissioners and community, and I'm available for any questions.
So, before we move to questions, we have a couple of new commissioners who have joined recently. Maybe if you could give an update or a brief description of the background of the project and what has been done to date, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, so the background on the project is that this is the fencing and curb cut scope uh, was something that came about out of a BZA hearing. I want to say back in September of last year, or almost a year and a half ago, and and so as a result of that hearing, there were certain requirements that were made that we had to go through HPO as a review process and the Public Space Committee to make sure that that our design was not impacting the community and it matched the intent of what the community would approve. And so we went through all of those different municipalities and we finally were able to come to an agreement on the design.
Yeah, and also just taking this like multiple steps back, if you could just give a quick background on the broader project, converting the building into the cell block and all of that briefly, that would be helpful because we have very recent commissioners that were not involved in this process before.
Yeah, so there's a central cell block, I believe it's Indiana Avenue. There were requirements for renovations to that facility, and so this location at 501 New York Avenue was elected as a place of temporary swing space, and so a design was put out, and there we're basically fitting out the interior of this building to operate as a swing space while the facility at Indiana is being repaired. And so once those repairs are completed, the idea is that those operations would go back to Indiana Avenue.
We'll start with commissioners. Any comments, questions for Des? Go ahead, Commissioner Prince.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know if you'll know the answer to this, but it sounds like there was a requirement to put in daylighting at the intersection of Fifth and L, which is that first parking space being, I guess, unoccupied. Uh, I can't remember what happens along the other corners, particularly L and 6th, or along New York Avenue. Is there daylighting there? And this comes to mind because, of course, 6th and New York is going to undergo some redesign, and there was a pedestrian fatality there. And I mean, the whole location is just sort of a difficult location. Do you have any information, or do you have quick access to the drawings? And it may be a moot point anyway, but I am curious about that.
I don't have access to the drawings right now.
Mhm.
Our scope pretty much includes fencing and curb cut from an exterior perspective. We're not necessarily touching anything outside of that. And that was the whole point of us going through those review processes with HPO and DDOT. And so outside of the fencing and curb cut, we're not really doing too much of a exterior upgrade.
Okay, and if I could just have another question just to update us. I don't follow this terribly closely, but I do have a recollection that the fencing is going to be higher than is usual in DC, and you had to get a waiver or something like that. How and apparently that was approved. What is the final height of the fencing going to be?
So the fencing is 7 foot high, and then there are intermediate masonry caps that are 8'4".
Intermediate masonry. Oh yeah, okay. That bring together. And will it? What is it? Sort of like a black wrought iron kind of thing?
The fence is like a black wrought iron. It's picket, so it has a vertical picket top,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then intermediately you'll have these masonry or brick that matches the building exterior.
Thank you.
Other commissioners? Questions, comments? Okay. Let's move to the public. Commissioner Nigro. Go ahead.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
So let me tell the truth about this, because clearly Des is not going to. So, and let me make this clear. The only reason why they're talking about what's going on tonight is because I continually call them out. The Department of General Services is utterly incompetent. At this point, they do not know DC code. They do not know, they don't want to follow ADA law. And it is by myself and the commission calling them out repeatedly all about this back on L Street and the parking space and all this. They did not know about that law. They did not know about ADA law. It is utterly shameful that this agency does not know any of this information. And my question is for you, Des, and if you'd like to respond by email later or maybe talk about it now, why are we paying whoever we're paying to do these designs, whether it's internal or external or third party, and they do not know the law? Go ahead, Des. Your agency does not know the law.
Yeah, I don't think we're here. I mean, we're not here to combat those kind of
Why
questions.
not?
I think
You
we're here
are here.
to answer anything that's pertaining to a project update.
It is pertaining to this
We
project. Here's the thing,
right.
Des. We're paying a lot of taxpayer money, and who's ever doing these designs
hmm
continually gets them wrong. Why are we paying? Is it Peter or is it Brett or whoever this whatever amount of money, and they don't know what they're doing? And that is
So
the
I
God
think
honest
the
truth.
the point is that we went through the process
No,
with
it doesn't.
HPO and Public Space Committee, and they approved the design, and so
Well,
we have an approval, and that's what we're
okay.
proceeding on right now.
And so let me bring the commissioners up to speed. They have to go before the Public Space Commission now for the fourth time because they have not gotten the plans right. Right? Is this correct, Des? I do believe so. And so, and again, it turns out that they might have not have given our commission notice correctly. And so you might not be going to that July hearing, Des. It might be pushed back again. The incompetence with this project is insane. So if any commissioner wants to know the truth, give me a call. Don't believe the Department of General Services. I can tell you that right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anything you would like to comment per se?
No, not really. I think I just we have direction to proceed. We did get conditional approval with one comment that we just had to showcase that the parking stripe on L Street was a minimum of 5 feet from the intersection of L Street and Fifth Street. And once we provide that, we've satisfied that requirement. And so at that point, we'll be proceeding to submit our drawings to DOB or to DOB for a building permit. So once those conditions are met, we're effectively done.
Sheriff Fiedler, go ahead.
Sure. Thanks for being here and thanks for the commentary. I think that having the context, it would just be helpful for me if you could review again what the next steps are on this project. I understand there are delays and things get messed up sometimes,
Sure.
and I'm new. I'll say I'm new, so I appreciate the input from both sides. But if you could just say again what like the next steps on this project are, I would find that helpful. I think you had a slide that said that.
Yeah, so the next steps is to submit the updated design to DOB so that we can get a building permit. And once we receive a building permit, we will proceed with the installation.
So you're at like the permitting stage almost?
Correct. Yeah, we
Okay.
are.
And it does take the sign off of a zillion different, to use an incorrect term, of a bunch of different departments and everything to get to that stage.
Well, yeah, to get to the stage that we're at now, we had to go through HPO and we also had to go through the Public Space Committee. We had multiple reviews with both departments, primarily just to make sure that we were aligned with what the community wanted. And so um, that was the biggest things that kind of held it up. But we're at a position now where we've gotten a conditional approval, as I said earlier, and we're compiling those documents, and once that is complete, we'll submit it to DOB for a building permit.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Have you worked on projects that have gone through the Public Space Committee before?
Yes,
Has this been an unusual project in any way, or how's
very
that
much so.
experience been?
Yeah. It's,
Can you articulate how it's been unusual? And then that's my last question.
no, it's just I think we've been working with the community as best we can, and I think both sides are happy that it's probably coming to somewhat of a close.
It's definitely been contentious. I know that. So thank you for sharing your updates.
There's a question asking if there's a representative from the Department of Corrections on the meeting. Des, is there anyone here on the meeting on the call from the Department of Corrections? There's a question
Uh,
about that.
um, Let me see if I can find. I don't see anyone on the call. Let me see if I can
Okay.
look.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
see anybody.
okay. Last call for comments or questions.
And if there are, good evening. This is John Stokes, Associate Director
Yeah.
of External Affairs for DGS. So if there are some questions again for DOC, please send them our way. Send them to me. Again, my name was on the presentation, and all presentations, especially for the new commissioners, all the presentations and information about this project are listed on our website at DGS. And this presentation will also be listed on our website. And you can absolutely send any questions that may come up after the meeting to myself or to Satere, who is the DOC contact.
Mr. Prince, did you have a question or a comment? No. Okay. Not seeing any other questions or comments. Thank you for joining us and for the update.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Going to the next item. Do we have anyone from DC Health? I don't think they confirmed their attendance. They may not be able to join. I think we may have a quick meeting. The next item we have is, let's see where I have it. There's an APCA request to support an application for an APCA liquor license. Um, kind of, yes. Sharing my screen. We got this notice. It's Metro Spice. I believe it's a new establishment in the neighborhood. It's at 1005 First Street Northeast. So that is in 6E07. A lot of action happening in 6E07 06 and 6007 today. They are asking for, well, they're not asking, but we could support their application for license. It's called New Retailers Class D Restaurant with a seating capacity of 44 in total occupancy load of 44. Operations are from 10:30 a.m. through 10 p.m. And it's retailer Class D restaurant, and they're applying for a new license since it's a new establishment. Um, yeah. Any um any questions, any comments? I don't have any concerns or issues.
Hooray. More bars.
Been meaning to
Yep.
try it. It just opened and the people seem really nice there. I was planning on going this weekend.
Great. Commissioner Prince, did you have
What?
any comments?
Well, what corner is this on? I'm trying to visualize this, where it is.
Metro Spice
Kind
is
of by the school
saying,
bulletin in Noma.
It's next to, is it in that block between K and L,
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
where along where the bike lanes are,
Mhm.
on that side of the street? Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
I have a question. Do we usually vote on these licenses?
we do. Yeah. I mean, it's more of like a procedural action. So if you vote no, then like that delays the process and then you can get into an agreement. If you don't vote or vote yes, it's the same. I think it's like more of like a procedural action that shows support for businesses.
Okay, so they're not coming to the meeting. We were just kind of doing this on our own.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Okay.
I think we've only had presentations when there are concerns or like there could be an agreement to get into a settlement, but this is like a low lift.
Got it. I thought we only voted if there were concerns, but never mind.
Yeah. Um, this is more about, showing support. If we also don't vote on anything, then nothing happens and the process is not changed. If we vote no, then we enter into um, negotiations about a settlement agreement. Okay. Is this 6EO? I thought that this is 6EO6, right? But it says 6EO7. So maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, okay, so I move to vote on a resolution that shows ANC 6A support for the APCA application submitted by Metro Spice. Anyone would like to second?
Second.
So Commissioner Abukalov moved and Commissioner Lariden seconded a motion to approve a resolution that expresses ANC 6E support for an APCA application submitted by MetroSpice 6E02,
Aye.
6E04,
Aye.
I 6E06,
Aye.
6E08,
Aye.
6E09.
Abstain.
Okay, so we approved the resolution with 5 ayes and 1 abstain. The far corner of it, yeah, that is
Yeah.
6007.
Right on the
That makes
border.
sense. Right at the border. That makes sense. Okay, moving to the next item is the open forum. So any commissioner or constituent can raise any issue, ask any questions. We usually have 2 minutes per person and additional ANC response time. I'll start with commissioners. Do you have any? Maybe we'll start with the update on the transportation walk. Yeah. Any
Yeah,
anyone?
sure.
Yeah.
We looked at three locations, all within 2 blocks of the Noma Metro station. The first being at the intersection of First and Pierce, where there's no crosswalk across a 2 block stretch of road. It sounded like that one has lots of Department of Transportation reasons for why there's not a crosswalk, but they're going to look into it. One of the big things that we kind of talked about for all three of the issues, or at least both of the intersections on First Street, is how First Street is a like high traffic feeder road classification per the DDOT's standards, which means that they can do no vertical calming measures, so they can't do speed bumps. Any crosswalk needs to be 15 feet wide because of that road status as like a major feeder road. I think all three of us kind of emphasized how that makes a lot of sense, but the area has also just had a lot of growth in terms of residents, and with thousands and thousands and thousands of people living in this area that didn't 10 or 15 years ago. There's just some considerations that should be made for pedestrians as well. So that was my intersection. Christina, Ahmad, if you want to talk about your intersections, please.
Sure, I'll hop in, and was really appreciative for the DDOT folks and Noma Bid for joining us on the walk and talking it through. So my annoying intersection is the one that's on M Street, just before and continuing under the MBT bridge, to include the entrance of the MBT on M Street. That is a huge just traffic intersection with the metro on the other side, cars, pedestrians, and tons of cyclists. And so I've actually had a couple constituents reach out about it as well. And so we kind of stood there and watched the flow of traffic and talked about extending some of the curbs so that cyclists and pedestrians are able to better avoid each other, and then also continuing the bike lane paint, because right now there's currently a gap where the bike lane sort of moves. And DDOT emailed us and said that he shared the issues with the bike team and also the traffic safety team. Yes, definitely. And also the traffic safety team. And it sounds like they are planning on doing an observation of the intersection, and hopefully they can at least get the green dashed lines and some more signage. And then I think I'll continue to stay on them about extending the curbs as well. So then Ahmad, if you wanted to talk about yours.
Yeah. Also part of that uh DDOT walk, I talked about the crosswalk on First. I think it's Pierce. Is it Pierce or Patterson? Pierce, right? And First.
The original one was Pierce, and then I think yours was Patterson.
Patterson. Yeah, I always got confused by the two streets that starts with P. It's by Citizen M Hotel. I originally was asking if we could do a raised crosswalk, and they said no because of the status of the road. But then, because of the interactions between cars and pedestrians, and cars don't really stop, or like they just like try to zoom in to that road. I was asking if we could add flashing light crossing that could get activated by pedestrians pressing on a button, and DDOT will look into it. I think we were asked to, as a first step, to submit TSI requests, which I believe I've done in the past, but I will do it again. Um, so overall, it was also helpful. It was Noah who was with the mayor's office before, and now he's with GDOT. So we had Noma bid representative join us. I thought that was a good opportunity to discuss pedestrian and biker safety in that segment of Noma. Highly recommend it if other commissioners would want to also schedule similar walks with DDOT in their SMDs. Commissioners, anything else you would like to raise? Any comments, any questions for discussing? Okay, Commissioner Prince, go ahead.
Sure, thank you. different topics now. The first is that I became aware that there will be an online meeting about the North Capitol Street corridor study June 30th. I'm not sure if we have participated. It would be good if somebody from the ANC went to this online meeting, and I'll put the link in the chat for us if anybody wants to go. And of course, members of the public can also go. You would have to, I think members of the public don't see the chat content, but it's northcapitalstudy.d.dc.gov. And there's an overview of the project and the timeline, and finally the announcement of the meeting on Tuesday, June 30th on WebEx, 6:30 to 8:30. This is the second public meeting on this topic, the North Capitol Street study. And then the other thing is just for sort of all of us as commissioners, that DC Board of Elections has reminded us that we're getting into the season for taking out the papers to run again. I think the window is something like July, maybe 6th to August 6th. I'm not sure exactly, but so that's always important to keep in mind. And then I would like to say that I'm not planning to run for reelection, so I'm hoping that we can find somebody good for single member district 08. I will certainly put out some feelers and organizations that I'm in contact with, and make sure that my constituents know if somebody wants to run for that for my seat. That would be just fabulous, because I think we should have a robust and fully staffed commission. And that's it for me. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for these updates. So, we had a constituent who represented ANC 6E, Chris, who was also very passionate about transportation, but I believe that he moved into Ward 5. He used to represent us in these meetings about the North Capitol study. If anyone, I am passionate about this topic, but I don't think I have the knowledge. They're, for me, they're typically more technical about redesigning certain aspects, and they get into different treatments and discussing like speed situations. If anyone would like to represent ANC 6E, it could be any ANC commissioner or a constituent who lives in the area. Commissioner Prince, do you have interest slash capacity? Not trying to add more things to your plate, but
I'll give you a maybe on that.
okay,
I
yeah,
might go. I don't
yeah,
have class that evening. I
okay.
don't think I have any commitments, but I have to double check.
Also, other commissioners, if you have capacity and interest to attend these meetings.
We can
Um,
certainly be represented by multiple commissioners if
yeah,
only just to
definitely.
listen and chime in as appropriate.
I think I might be able to go.
I could go as well. I love streets.
Okay,
Cool.
that's great. The other update, thank you for doing that update. So yes, there's a new election cycle for ANC commissioners. Well, I feel like with vacancies we always have an election, but there are special elections, and this is the regular election cycle for ANC commissioners in November. Um, if anyone would like to run again or run for the first time, you would file with the Board of Elections office, and they can make the petitions available starting Monday, July 6th. So Monday, July 6th, and then the timeline for collecting 25 valid signatures from the single member area would be collecting and submitting them would be Wednesday, August 5th by 5 p.m. Um, yeah, I also think I have announced, if not, I'm also not running for re-election. So if anyone lives in 6005, and would like to represent the area, I encourage you to do so and would be happy to chat offline about the process. Yeah, commissioners, other commissioners. Okay, go
But
ahead,
I
Commissioner.
mentioned, you've just reminded me that I also heard recently that the Greater Washington organization is hosting an event about becoming a commissioner and commissioner training. I think you could probably find information about that on their website. And it is maybe this weekend. It's coming up quite soon. I did not attend it in the past. I can't say what the content will be, but I have a respect for the organization and I'm sure it will be very interesting. So if anybody in the public or any commissioner here would like to attend that, look it up, Greater Washington Commissioner Training, Commissioner
It's on the,
Candidacy Training, I guess.
yeah, it
Or
is on the 29th, and I'll share the link.
that must be, is that a Monday?
Yep,
There you go. Thank you.
just shared the link. Yeah, thank you for flagging that. Any other comments or questions? Also, constituents, you can use the Q&A box to type a comment or question for us, or use the raise hand option to ask a question or make a comment.
Yeah, just wanted to flag that the application for the assistant is now been posted, right? And I believe it's due on the
Mhm.
30th of July. Is that the day we set?
Yep. Yep.
Cool. Just flagging that for everybody.
Yep. ANC is looking for support through hiring a consultant. So it's not a full-time job with benefits, but a consultant who would be supporting is an admin assistant. And we posted the job description and how to apply on the website. Any other comments or questions? Okay. Not sure. I haven't been keeping the record. This could be one of the shortest meetings. We're still an hour and a half, but we've definitely done way longer. Okay. Last call before we vote on adjourning. Any comments or questions? Okay. It is six, it is 8:01 p.m. and I make a motion to adjourn the June 24, 2026 meeting. Anyone would like to second?
Second.
So Commissioner Abukalov moved and Commissioner Prince seconded. Motion to adjourn the ANC 6E June 24, 2022 meeting. I'll be calling on you to vote. 6E02,
Aye.
6E04,
Aye.
aye, 6E06,
Aye.
6E08,
Aye.
and then 6E09.
Aye.
Sounds good. The motion passes with 6 ayes, 0 nays, and no abstains. Thank you again for joining us. And we adjourn the meeting. The next meeting will be the last Wednesday of July, which is July 29, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Thank you for joining us and have a good night.